Greg, let me ask you, in your 8 years, what do you feel is the piece of legislation that you are the most proud of, that contributed the most to your constituents?
Most certainly the set aside for service disabled veterans that we got done. It's a 6% set aside. Really, that's I can close up shop now and say, hey, I did my thing. The rest in life is gravy, because that's a 6% set aside worth about $400 million a year to service disabled vets. I'm a graduate of the Air Force Academy. I never served in combat. Many of my friends did and continue to serve in combat, including the Special Forces. These are real Americans. They're great Americans. And when they are injured, we need to make sure that they're taken care of and that their families are taken care of. So that set aside isn't just going to be about money. It's also going to be certainly about jobs. But beyond that, it's going to be about ending the scourge of veteran suicide, the epidemic of veteran suicide, through meaningful employment. And there are dozens of other pieces of legislation that I did on the veterans side, including getting tens of millions of dollars put back in the budget for our veterans nursing homes, and passing a piece of legislation that will finally allow New York State to have a state veteran cemetery for our men and women who have served. And I'm going to miss, if there are things I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss being in that conference with my colleagues, who really are just consummate professionals and really don't get enough credit. People assume that in this position that you're wealthy. They assume that you have this kind of lifestyle. I think most people, they look at me, they think I fell out of a Brooks Brothers commercial. I drive an expensive car and I live in a nice house. I own a 400 square foot shack. I owe about $220,000 on it because I leveraged myself into debt to win my first campaign. It's worth about $100,000, $150,000. The septic tank is a garbage can with chicken wire. I have a pick 'em up truck with 150,000 miles. 120,000 of those miles were put on it for campaigning. The rest were put on it for leaving the state and going to Texas. I make $79,500 a year. I brought back about $60 million for the district over time. I work 7 days a week. Christmas Eve, and never took a dollar of outside employment, because I said that I would give up all outside employment, and I did that. And there are a lot of people who are serving, who certainly could be in the private sector and doing all sorts of things, but they work 7 days a week, and they're professionals, and they don't get the credit that they're due. I think about Senator Larkin, who's combat veteran and north of 80 years of age, and still going to Albany for session, and doesn't miss a session day, and is sharper and gets around quicker than folks who are half his age, and is an awesome hero, not just for our veterans, but for constituents and taxpayers throughout New York State. And there are so many people like that, and it was a privilege to serve with them.
Greg, thank you very much. We're going to wrap up this segment, and when we continue, we're going to focus in on the present and the future. What's Greg Ball up to as he leaves state legislature, and what's the next steps in his career? That'll be the next time on Greg Ball's Exit Interview here on HVNN.com.